I did. It's live. It shows up as live on mine. Is it not showing up on yours? Well, it says end stream here as an okay.
Century Superhuman. I know that the answers are inside. Yeah, I am the 21st Century Superhuman. Now is the time. Come on, everyone, let's celebrate. We are the children of the sun. I can see you when I look into your eyes. We are the same, we are light, and we are one. Here now, hear my ancient prayer and sing along. We are awakening as one. And we can make a difference. Yeah, we can be the change it takes to make the world a lot more fun.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to our first live 21st Century Superhuman show. And I'm going to invite you to put in the comments, where are you checking in from? And what are you excited about today? We're in unprecedented times on planet Earth. We've come to a time when we're just having an amazing change. Amazing. Somebody pushed a button and the whole world kind of shut down. Everybody stayed in their homes, and the um, we've quit going to work. We've quit doing most of the things that we used to do. So this is asking us to deepen ourselves, to become more more introspective of who we are, why we're here, and where we're going. This is a time to get to know our friends, our neighbors, and to become flexible, to start thinking about our lives in new ways. What's really exciting is we feel that this is a good time. And there's a great Hopi prophecy that was written up by a woman named Robbie Mountain Dreamer that we'd like to play for you right now. We've got, actually, let me introduce first. We've got JC in the background running our tech stuff, who some of you know. And this is a exciting experience for me because I've never done these lives before, and it's something new, and there's a lot of parts and pieces that have to go together on this. So I'm really grateful that JC is helping us with that. And Marek, my husband, will be monitoring the chat, and so he'll be able to communicate with you as you post your messages in the chat. So I know we had a time change today, and I hope people are showing up with that. So anyway, to go back, Robbie Mountain Dreamer wrote up Hopi Prophecy around 2000. And it's really beautiful. And I feel like it talks about these times that we are in right now. So if we can go ahead and hear Marek's wonderful voice relaying this prophecy to us.
Hopi Elders' Prophecy. We are the ones we've been waiting for. You've been telling people that this is the 11th hour.
From Golden
Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. And
living in the
there are
future.
things to be
Yes,
considered.
my brother.
Where are you living?
Are we gonna
What
be able
are
to
you
hear
doing? What are your relationships?
We are the ones?
Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. Do not look outside yourself for your leader. Then he clapped his hands together, breathed, smiled, and said, "This is a good time. You see, the great river is flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift, there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly in their fear. No, the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, and simply keep our eyes open and our head above water. And I say, see who's in there with you and celebrate, for this is the time of great change. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey come to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration, for we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Beautiful. I love that. And it's something that's inspired and encouraged me over the years. So right now we're dealing with this thing called the CV virus, CV-19. And there's so many ways that we can look at this, many dimensional levels. We can look at it as from the 3D, that it is just a dis-ease. It is literally a dis-ease of the body, and that dis-ease is maybe causing tribulation for some people. We can also look at it as a message from our consciousness. We can look at it that we as humanity have decided we need to change our course. And there's also much alternative news that shares with us that there's many things going on behind the scenes right now, that this was a way to kind of quiet things down so that some of the corruption that's been going on in our systems, in the governments, in the economic system can be changed. And this is really some of the things that I feel are going on behind the scenes. So it's important for us to look at this in many, many ways. The first thing we'll take a look at, so let's, you can go ahead and show us that next slide, John. The the narrative that we're looking at, we have to each ask ourselves, what is our narrative? What is our story? What is the story that we want to follow? And for so many years as humanity, we've been listening to the news and we've been letting that program us. And it's now understood that the news is like, 6 basic organizations that run all the same news everywhere. And the news stories we hear are here to program us and get us to live a certain way. So, what we teach in 21st Century Superhuman is to breathe, smile, and love, and remember, what are we here for? What is the balance of our being? What is um, what's the story that we want to be living? Because we literally are creator beings. We are creators who are calling into being the resonance that we're seeing in this world. So, some of the things we want to ask ourselves, as it said in the Hopi Prophecy, is how is our garden? Who is here with us? We're gonna come up with the narrative that we choose to live. And you can go on to the next slide, JC. This is what is our house like? Do we have a beautiful earth-friendly place to live? And maybe we don't. Maybe we live in the suburbs or we live in an apartment building, but how can we begin growing things? How can we begin taking care of ourselves in new ways? And it's not just about growing things. I mean, we can even grow little pots of herbs in our kitchen. Louis Pasteur actually said that it's really not about the microorganism, it's about our internal state. And he said that on his deathbed. He was actually quoting a friend of his. And this is a really important thing for us to look at because we kind of live in the culture where we believe that I'm going to just read this for you. The microbe is nothing. The terrain is everything. And so the terrain is our body. And how are we taking care of our bodies? How are we eating? Are we eating vegetables? Are we eating? So we're just taking care of the structure of our body. And so in order to help prevent if there is a virus out there, how do we keep ourselves well so that our immune systems are going to work and so that we're going to be healthy and well? Hey, Flint, good to see you from Cocoa Beach. Hey, Roberta, good to see you. So glad you're here. Bertie, really nice to see you guys. So this is our first time out doing this, and it is wonderful to see each of you here. It's kind of a test run for us to do this as we move on here. So as we consume salads and vegetables, we begin building a better body structure. And we can kind of gradually go through these next 3 or 4 slides, JC. So if you guys have a question or if you have something you're interested in, I know that we're really happy to answer them. It's one of the things we're doing here. So we want to be taking care of our bodies physically, and then we gradually will begin including herbs and taking better care of our body. Yes, we can. I think I have a little delay in what I'm seeing as far as what's really on the screen. So I'm kind of trying to learn how this all works. The Yes, thank you. A disease cannot live in a clean body. So one of the things that we want to do is be living on a healthy nutritional program and our body being vibrant so that it can resist disease when disease comes along. So we're going to look at just the ways to stay healthy. I did a bigger, longer video on natural immunity, and that will be um, available under this video. There will be a link for it, and then there will also be a link where you can actually download an ebook on natural immunity. So one of the things that we use daily is essential oils. And essential oils are written up in PubMed as being equal to in strength as antibiotics, as antivirals. They're really super strong. And our favorites are tea tree oil, oregano oil, rosemary oil, lemongrass oil. Basil is another really potent herb. So one of the things that we do on a daily basis is drink beverages, drink tea, drink hot toddies with baking soda, honey. Thus, we're alkalizing our body, and then we add drops of these essential oils. So we're kind of fortifying our immune system all the time. So being on a good diet, a good nutritional program, I don't even like to call it a diet. I like to call it a live it. And then using essential oils along with that is going to really fortify our immune system. If we drink coffee or tea, we can make teas with adding essential oils to those, making herbal teas, and always adding just a little bit of lemon, a little bit of honey, and a tiny bit of baking soda. This will help keep us alkaline because dis-ease cannot live in an alkaline body. So we do the same thing, and we can move ahead a little bit. We can do the same thing with coffee, adding a little baking soda, a little honey. And these are the things that can help create alkalinity and alkaline balance in our bodies. Alkalinity is super important in order to keep us in a condition that we're resistant to illness. So it seems like kind of an odd thing to do. And one of the ways we can test is we can test our urine with little pH strips that can be ordered online and tell us whether we're acid or alkaline. So, how we're feeding ourselves and our families are so important. Um, yeah, you can go ahead and just kind of scroll through these slides, JC. They're more about just a general conversation that we're having here. Just go ahead and move ahead on those. Um, so, making the basis of our day be kind of a day that we have a detoxification going on, where we get up in the morning, we drink beverages, and those beverages have a little bit of baking soda, they have juices. And then as we go into the foods in our day, we are using herbs and spices in everything that we make. We're eating as close to raw as possible, making different types of green shakes. So we want to let our food be our medicine. And this is what Hippocrates said, who's considered the father of modern medicine. I heard a really exciting thing today that Trump actually passed a ruling that is going to allow um, different organizations, churches, and spiritual organizations to make a choice on whether they get vaccinations. So we're getting to be able to come back to making our own choices. A lot of things are going on during this time of great change. So what we want to look at is how we're taking care of ourselves and how we're thinking. Are our thoughts, are we breathing, smiling, and living from our hearts in such a way that we're literally loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves, we're taking care of each other, or are we looking around us saying, ain't it awful? There's something really awful that's going on. So let's remember that as we think, so will we be creating. And there's so many delicious foods that we can make to take care of our bodies. These are little brownies made out of natural cacao. Oh, this is really interesting. Okay. Yeah. So do you guys have any questions? Birdie, have you got any questions? So we're going to go ahead. I'm a little bit um, visually off here on what images I'm seeing. I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly how to take the next step. I think we can. Okay. Um, okay. And I'm not seeing them at the same time as you, JC. I'm seeing them quite a bit different. So, okay. All right. Oh. All right. So let's see. Yeah. On the microbiome, we also consume some kind of probiotics, and we make one that is with cabbage juice and salt. So we take cabbage and blend it in the blender with water and salt, and we let it ferment for 24 hours with a starter. And this is something that helps keep our microbiome healthy. And then, yeah, and and we can also buy kombucha and other things that are good for the microbiome. And one of the other stories that I love is Einstein said that nothing will benefit human health and increase chances for survival of life on Earth as much as the evolution to a vegetarian diet. And so we like to encourage people towards vegetarianism. It's not necessarily required. It's something I've been doing for over 5 decades, which is a really long time. And that is something that's kept me well and healthy and vital. Moving more towards a plant based diet is something that's being shown to be ecologically better for our planet and better for what we're doing here. So I'd say we can go on to some of the other things that we use. Yes, this is wonderful. Hot lemon and water with ginger is another really protective food, antibacterial, antiviral. And so one of the things that I want to go into is the new sciences that we're using. The um, this is really hard, you guys. I know, just this is going to be, I'm sure it will be better next time, but I'm having to really work at this because it's something I haven't done before. And I've got a little bit of a difference here with understanding how it all works. So please be patient with me. Thank you. Multidimensionality, yes. So I'm seeing a picture of Mark eating a burger, a veggie burger, and there's so many great ways that we can do this new lifestyle. So what I want to talk about is we also are using great, awesome technologies of the future. And those technologies of the future include something called a Cup of Life, or GANs, that have been brought forth by the Kesh Foundation. And I've been a student of that online for a while, learning these things and teaching them. And we've got some really nice Cup of Life pictures here. So we can go ahead to one of those. And the Cup of Life is basically a container of salt water. We can make it at home. And so it's a container of salt water with a coil of copper in it, a piece of zinc, and these are suspended from the top, and then they're connected to each other by a wire. And then the copper in the middle is a nano coated copper. That means it's been treated with heat. And these together with the salt water, and they can also be connected to a small battery that's kind of partially used up. This is creating the material down in the bottom of the jar. So as it creates that material, it's creating what is called a nano solution, or a gas in its nano state. So it's expanded molecules. And those expanded molecules create an energy field that can help our body protect itself from viruses. It can help us bring a better balance into our bodies. So one of the ways that this is talked about being used, once this GANS is made, or this plasma formula, we pour the water off, or pull the water off with a syringe, and we put clean, fresh water on there. And so this can be consumed a small spoonful. If it's in the early stages, you can take the salt water that's been made into this plasma material, spray it around your house, spray it around yourself, and it will help create a disinfected environment, and will help create an energy balance that will help change the field around you. So This is also, I will have a link under the video where you can go learn how to make these things if you want to do it at home. This is a little diagram one of my listeners made, which is wonderful. And it is showing there's a first cup of life and a second cup of life. So the second one has basically, you've got copper, and nano-coated copper in one, you've got copper, nano-coated copper, and zinc in the other. And then you can wire them together, and that's the second cup of life. So these are just wonderful tools that we can use and bring change into our environments and our world. One of the things we do with them is we literally hang ping pong balls with these GANS materials around our property, and to create a protective field on our property and in our home. We basically set the plasma materials outside our water station, next to our water station, and then our water station is potentized by these fields rather than one of the things I've been saying, and one can go to the latest Knowledge Seekers workshops on YouTube, which would be the 319th, the 320th, 321st, 322nd Knowledge Seekers workshops. And there's a lot of material on how to do this and how to make this GANS and plasma. So, but one of the ways that they're talking about it is to actually literally take the water off the top. However, we set it next to our water station and potentize our water station with it. So rather than consuming directly. This is a really great wave of the future that's on Earth right now. Millions of people around the planet are doing this and following this method, learning how to make these plasma tools. This is a really nice kind of little cheat sheet on it on how to do it that Heather Bryant put together, which I will also have at a download link under the video. It explains how to do the process and then how to use it. And you can either put the plasma that you've made, the water, into a vial and potentize your other waters with it, put it in a spray bottle, or some people are using it directly. So yeah. And I want to thank Heather Bryant for all the work that she does on these. She does an amazing job. So Roberta is asking, when will you be teaching how to make plasma other than the 1 cup of life protocols? I'm hoping actually to get to that in the next couple of weeks, Roberta. This Thriving in the Times of Great Change, we will go into a workshop setting, an online members workshop setting, where we will be learning how to do these and many more things because they're so important. I mean, learning how to do this at home is such an important part of our everyday life. I don't even know where I'd be right now if I didn't have plasma in my world. It's like, are we taking the step into this next wave of awareness and consciousness and science that humanity is developing? I know this picture that I'm seeing on the screen, which is kind of a bowl of ice that I'm holding up with a big ball in it. That ball is actually kind of a torus field. And this literally is the ice from our personal water station. We just put it in a bowl in the freezer, and it makes that big torus field ball in the middle of it. Yes, this is another picture of it just being held up with the light shining through. You can see that ball and all the little beams going out from it. So we have never put, yay, says Roberta, I can't wait. I know, I can't wait too. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be personally there with you guys and taking the next step. So yes, it will be very soon. I'm kind of the one woman show here doing really a lot of things. So we will get there. So this beautiful bowl of ice and ice ball is from our water station, which has simply been potentized by different GANs or plasma formulas being placed around it. And those formulas literally potentize that water. Now, we live in a house that has plasma in it everywhere. We have bottles of plasma around the house. We have them around our yard. We have them in the garden. And this is another really cool plasma picture, which some of you have seen before. But this is one of our health pens, which my husband makes these with a really beautiful top on it, which is that of how a labyrinth is made. And then it's a nano-coated copper that's been twisted in a counterclockwise motion. And that was just put over water to freeze it. And that apple shape underneath that ball is it is the energy field that is coming out of this pen. So we call it a health pen, but it is this nano-coated copper which is creating that energy field. And that's another picture of the health pen. So basically, these are really simple tools that we can make at home, and anyone can make them. I mean, kids can make these. These are not difficult, and they're the kind of thing that because of that field that's there, we would maybe hold this to an area that's painful and bring healing energy to the body. So one of the things we love about our plasma water station is it is made by some folks that live in Montana, and they went through 5 years of training in the classes with the Kesh Foundation. And Dr. Paul, who made up all these formulas, was a veterinarian. He passed on recently at the ripe age of 80, but he did a lot of things to keep himself well. Hey, Amy, how you doing? Good to see you today. I know you're listening to the book, right? You got a pre-edition. So I love your pictures. It's good to see you here. Tell us what you think of the book. So, so the people that are make the vials that go around our plasma water station, besides my own things there, are called Plasma Energy Solution, and we love the water stations that they make, and they are one of our sponsors here. We have been sharing their water stations for quite a while, and there's like they have these GANS formulas that literally might have 50 to 100 different ingredients in each GANS. So this is sort of a sophisticated alchemy. And at some point we learn to be our own alchemists. We learn to be an alchemist in our own home. So Amy, you're unfolding into it, huh? And I know you do amazing pictures. I wish you could share one here, your drawings. So let's see. Oh, yes. And one of the other things we want to look at is if we had food shortages of any sort, which we give the intention that we have enough for all and that we're developing a new system for all to have enough. But if we felt like we needed more food in our household, our GANSs actually have nourishing elements in them that range from amino acids that are made on top of the GANSs to actually plasmas that are made from the foods. And those foods, those GANSs, those plasma waters are put around our water station, potentize our water station, and we're actually getting more nourishment. So some people I know have gone to the store and found empty shelves. Hey, Lynn, really nice to see you. Yes. And I think we're just going to see Dr. Paul in a minute here, maybe on the next slide. Let's see where it is. Let's see. Lynn says, hi, Cary. Lovely to see the water in a warm environment. I'm continuing with Dr. Paul's work and have seen several new formulas in the works, including Healthy Pancreas, which should be ready in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yay. So, Lynn, we love your water station. It is one of the most powerful, wonderful things we have in our household. And so here's Dr. Paul with Lynn, and he was really a wonderful alchemist, and we are all still getting to benefit from the alchemy that he did and the knowledge of health and well-being that he was able to come up with from working with animals over 30 or 40 or 50 years. I'm not sure how long he did. I know it was a long time, but he's made really, really amazing plasma formulas. And we are so blessed to be able to get these from Lynn in our water station and really change the field in our homes. So we change the field in our bodies. And oh, Lynn is loving seeing our warm weather because she's still in flannels and corduroy. Yes, we are so lucky to be living in a place where there's beautiful sunshine and warm weather and a lot of deepening of our experience because we have this really amazing environment to be in. We feel that we live in a portal, actually. And we will be doing retreats here one of these days pretty soon. And probably when the quarantine is lifted, right? And invite those who would like to come and immerse themselves in this environment with us. So, yes, and so our plasma stations have, I know that Dr. Lynn and Dr. Paul and Lynn, when they made the plasmas with food, they took 30 days worth of meals and added portions of those meals to the GANs that was being made and ended up making plasma water from from enough nutrition that one could live on for a month. And so that is constantly feeding our water station. We consume really small amounts of food ourselves. I mean, it seems to be less and less all the time. The hunger levels that we have are very minimal. And the foods that we eat, our desire gets to be for simpler and simpler and simpler foods. So we want to invite you all to join us on this journey to add these kind of things to your own life. And I know Lynn is one of our sponsors from plasmaenergysolution.com, and you can find a lot of their wonderful formulas there. One of the most recent ones has been the virus relief formula, and that has that has formulas in it that were designed by Dr. Paul for the cold, getting rid of the common cold, for the lungs, and several other really complementary formulas all make up this antiviral formula. I don't want to call it antiviral, it's called virus relief. So we just love what we've been able to learn with Dr. Paul and Lynn and the way we've been able to benefit from in our lives from them. And we know that a lot of people that are in our circle now have the plasma water stations and are nourishing themselves and creating a protective field in their home. I meant to add a picture of our water station here, but I didn't do that. So another thing we do, let's see, Amy, what are you saying? Since I've known you, I know you remember how many times I've mentioned your reversed aging. Yes, I know, huh? It's one of the reasons I mentioned that I've been a vegetarian, vegan, raw foods, and vegetarian for 5 decades. So that's a long time. And I've also been on a spiritual path. And that varies, over time. It's not always exactly the same. Sometimes I might eat a little fish. Sometimes I'm mostly raw foods. Sometimes I might eat an egg. But my whole dietary lifestyle is really, really simple. And it is amazing. I mean, I feel like most people that I meet that are anywhere near my age and even 10 or 20 years younger, I'm usually a lot of times more vital and have more energy than many of them. So it's really it's a neat and powerful experience, and I believe every single one of us has DNA that can be cleaned up by our thought patterns, and help us live a more vital lifestyle. As we clean up our DNA with our thoughts, we clear away any anger, hatred, sadness, um, all of those things, blame, where we're blaming other people. I should tell a story along with this, because in 1980, I fell on ice. I fell ice skating and I actually met a guy that I was going to end up married to for 12 years. And I slipped. I went ice skating to develop grace, and I slipped on the ice and hit my elbow and broke my arm, both in the upper part and the lower part. went to the hospital. The doctors did x-rays and wanted to do surgery and put 2 pins in. And they but I had already heard about body electronics, which was being taught by Dr. John Ray. So I had been listening to these tapes, and I said to my friends, I'm going to leave the hospital and you guys need to hold points on me so that we can heal my broken arm without me having to have surgery and put 2 pins in it. And so we did this body electronics process, which was me lying on a table, on a massage table, and my friends holding points on my feet, my head, my arm, and I would have to go through whatever came up. My friend had searing, burning points he was holding at the base of my skull. And my love you too, Amy. Good to see you. Ciao, ciao. Um, and so they were holding points on me, and everything that came up that was related to this pain in my arm was something that I had to experience on the conscious mental level and then take up to love. And as I did that, within 3 hours, searing, burning heat went through my arm, and the muscles that were hanging down and black and blue healed and went up into place, and my broken arm was completely better. So, and then we did about 3 more hours the next day for some little bone chips that were out of place, and you could literally hear them clicking back into place. So part of this life, and that was in 1980, so part of this life of staying more vital has been to learn that I need to recognize that anything I see in my world is not just somebody outside of me. It's coming from inside of me. And as I clear that, I breathe and smile and I move into love. I'm able to heal everything in myself. I'm able to heal everything in my world. So these are some of our really powerful tools for living. And JC, you could go ahead to one of those next slides, I think, if one is there. So it's these tools for living that help us learn how to live a new kind of life. And yes, I've done age reversal, I think. And I have certain ingredients that have made that happen. And some of them are learning how to clear the mind of thoughts that are challenging. Go ahead. Yeah. And so this is laundry hanging on the line. We do laundry with our plasma waters. And so everything in our worlds is literally kind of saturated with plasma waters. And so we're using futuristic tools to change the fields in our bodies. We're eating nutrition, which is really vitalizing to our bodies. We are using essential oils to raise the frequency and help us become more clear, and that are protective and help defend us against microorganisms that shouldn't be in the body. So really what we're able to do at this time in Earth's history is create kind of an Eden here. We have everything shut down with the CV-19. People are staying in their homes. What's really important is that we learn to remember not to be living in fear and not to let fear consume us. What are the positive things we can do? How can we take care of ourselves? And Thor Burgess is asking, can you create the plasma effect in ponds in the winter? Theron, ponds in the winter, it's cold there, right? I'm thinking, I know you're in New Zealand. You wouldn't really create it in ponds. Yeah, and JC, we can keep this here for a second. So basically what we're doing, we want to look at ourselves creating a new kind of environment. So what you really can do, Theron and everyone else, is basically with a jar of water and salt added to it to make it 10 to 15% salty, and putting these metals, this nano-coated copper and a piece of zinc. Yes, you guys are going into winter, but you can do this in the house. It really only takes hours. So it isn't like you have to spend days doing it. So if you use a little battery with some of these diagrams that I'll put a link up for you to be able to download. It'll be under this video. It might take me overnight to get it there, but you should be able to come back to this video and I'll send it out to my email list. So a little battery attached to those little pieces of metal that are in the salt water, and then you wire them together and connect them to the battery that's running out of juice. It will create that in really just a matter of hours. It's very, very fast, or it can take a few days. Then you have this solution that's called a mother solution. It would be like the mother solution in uh, um, in I'm thinking sourdough bread. Kombucha has a mother solution. So once you make the colored parts of the GANs or the plasma, you have a mother solution. And I'm going to get Mark, as soon as he comes back in the room, I'll get him to hand me a bottle here. So I guess you could take the slide off, JC, and I'll show you a couple bottles of what it looks like. So once you have that mother solution, then the water that's in the bottle, and I'd love to have you using this. And in about 2 weeks, I'm going to start teaching classes online that will teach you how to make many different kinds of plasma water, not just this one. Could you hand me a couple bottles of GANs um, with the material in the bottom, please? And so, yeah, a couple of them, yes, and maybe one of those over there. Yeah. So these are what the plasma water, the GANS looks like if you have it at home. This is a copper one here, and this is a zinc one here. And these are the two that are in the formula we're talking about. Oh, he's asking about kombucha. So, and we can shake this up, and we don't want to use it when it's shaken up, but then we want to let it settle. And then we would use the clear water off of the top. This is our third normal one, our usual of our main three Gansas. It's called CH3, and it's usually used only in tiny amounts. This is the kind that we use in our laundry, which is kind of a combination. So, Theron, you're asking about kombucha. You can make kombucha just at home in the kitchen, and that would be somebody at a health food store or somewhere near you, I'm sure, has a mother for kombucha. And then that goes in with a formula that's made from tea and sugar. And then there's another one called gin that is made from honey and sugar. So yeah, each one of these can be made and they don't take too long. I know our kombucha takes about 7 days, 4 to 7 days when I make it at home. And I'll be sharing that. What we're going to be sharing, the first classes I'm going to do are going to be called Thriving in in Times of Great Change. And so I'm going to do classes that will be live and they'll be recorded so you can see them later on how to do all these things, because this is a lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle that takes more than just doing one or two things. And it's a complete lifestyle, it's an alchemical lifestyle, and it's how we really make ourselves well. But these plasma formulas, what's so nice about them is they, just by me having these bottles near me, I'm literally taking on the fields from them that are what my body needs. It will take what it needs and it will get rid of the rest. So Theron, anything else? Did I answer your questions or any other? Let's see. Yeah, and we can go to one of those 3 later slides there. Okay, so I just like to close today with being aware. One of the reasons, okay, good, Theron, glad you did. It's really good to see you here, and I send you big hugs and lots of love across the great rainbow of light on our planet. So one of the reasons we breathe when we breathe, smile, and love is we're actually activating a neural plexus in the frontal lobe of our brain. And one of the reasons we smile is we're activating a neural plexus in the back of our brain. These open up our body to flow in a living way. So it's why as 21st century they activate our immune system. It's why as 21st century superhumans our main saying is breathe, smile, and love. And the reason is because it activates the highest frequency of living in this body. And breathing, smiling, and loving is what actually allows us to think better thoughts, to interact with others in a way that creates positivity with them. We were just talking the other day with a friend who spent time in Hawaii. One of the ancient Polynesian ways of greeting, which came from the ancient Aramaic, which is what the breathing, smiling, and love comes from. The ancient Aramaic is what Yeshua spoke, or Jesus and Buddha. But they would greet by putting their foreheads together and breathing the same breath. And as they breathe that same breath, they're saying, I greet you with openness. I greet you with the creation for you that I would create myself with for myself. Hey, Rob, good to hear from you from Brazil. Hola. Or let's see, how do we say hello in Portuguese? I can't remember. We practiced Portuguese last year. Thanks, Devin. Appreciating all you share from North Carolina. Thank you so much. So I just want to send you all lots of love and many blessings and hugs and kisses from the virtual space where we're in a good enough distance from each other to be honoring what our world has set up right now for us to live in. I just want to encourage everyone, take care of yourselves in amazing ways. Make yourselves vital so that you don't have to be in fear. Hola, hola, hola. It's hola. Like here we say hola, and there you say hola in Brazil. Gracias. Thank you. Um, cool. So, yes, thank you for this slide, JC. What narrative are we going to create? This is our narrative. We are creators. I believe we live in literally a world that mirrors and reflects what we give it. It can only mirror and reflect what we give it. And this is what the book's 21st Century Superhuman series is all about. And we're just about to release those, like I think in the next few days. It's been tons of work behind the scenes. I can't even tell you. My wonderful husband reading the audiobooks. And thank you, Roberta, and translating to Spanish. And so we have Spanish and English, and we're working on audios for both. And so that's what this is about. We are the change we wish to see. We're living in a quantum world. We are creators. We are creators in this world. Thank you, Sherry. So good to see you. And many blessings and so much love to all of you. So take care of your bodies, empower your bodies. Let go of the fear chatter that is in the world. Maybe turn off the traditional news. Tell the TV to go stand in the corner till it has something good to say. Halise Dubnik, thank you. Thank you so much in Bisbee, Arizona. Were you at one of my classes out there? Good to see you. And so I just have chills going through me as I feel all of you and I feel the love being exchanged between us. Thank you for your patience with me on doing this for the first time. It's not easy having to figure out a whole bunch of other technical things in the background, but I feel it's important that I start having these live chats instead of everything pre-recorded. And we will do more. For right now, we'll plan on every Sunday at this time, and tell your friends to come, and gradually we'll build it up here and I'll get to be better at it, and we'll have some little interviews here as well. So oh, cool, awesome. Yes, I remember your last name really well. Yes. Okay, so I just want to wish you all love, be blessed, be whole, Know your divine presence. Know that you resonate into this world. Breathe and believe. Thank you, Thor. Smile and love, and even laugh, because laughing and loving and smiling creates endorphins, and we create in this world. And I can just feel this giant circle of love among those of us who are here. Wow. It's like waves coming over me. So thank you all, because as we make this change in ourselves, we change the world. I want to say blessings all, much love. Aho. Breathe, smile, and we shall see you next time. Okay, ciao, ciao.
Thanks to our sponsor.